What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today we are reviewing, not reviewing, this is going to be a discussion video. Kind of a companion piece to my Gladiator 2 review. We got it going on Ridley Scott, man. Ridley Scott, made probably, in my opinion, top 5 movies of all time. This movie is my third favorite film of all time. The first Alien, Gladiator, Blade Runner. Hold on, let me open Wikipedia. I want to go through some of his movies. Because he's done some iconic ones. I mean, obviously, Gladiator, just that first Gladiator movie is just so good. The storytelling, it's one of my, historical kind of, period piece kind of movies. Because they do such a good job of the world feeling lived in. You feel like you're there. And I didn't even mind his Russell Crowe. I forgot that was him. The Russell Crowe fucking Robin Hood movie, which that was okay. Thelma and Louise, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of that movie. He did Legend. I didn't even know that. Okay, he did Legend. Black Hawk Down, that's iconic. I like G.I. Jane. He's done some great movies. American Gangster, pretty sure that's the Denzel one. I'm just gonna click on it really. Yes, that was that one. Yeah, he did that one. He's done a great, and I'll even say, I know a lot of people don't like Prometheus. I like Prometheus not as an alien movie, but as a sci-fi movie. Just if you take out the elements that tie it to Alien, I think it's a fine sci-fi story. That's why I think I defend it a bit more. I don't tie it to Alien anymore, though. I just kind of look at it as a sci-fi story on its own. Granted, Shaw was a great character, and it's just frustrating that Ridley Scott has just fallen off, because he's just... I've been saying it, he's on a weird midlife crisis right now, where he just feels like he needs to outdo himself, and he just can't retire. Take a break, brother. Why do you feel the need you gotta keep fucking up Alien? Alien has been fucked up enough, man. And I get it. The truth of the matter is, he's never liked aliens. I think he said it historically. It's been known. He didn't really like aliens. He didn't like some of the changes aliens added. He didn't really like the whole Queen, which I do like. And I understand to an extent that some people don't like that he made the whole... Because I think his thing is, and some other people who... because I'm going to say it, there are people out there who do not like aliens. I will say it, I love the first one more, but I do love aliens still. But there are people out there who do not like aliens at all and only like the first movie. Because their argument is, they feel like aliens took the mystery away and just dumbed them down to being fucking space bugs. Which I don't think is true. I feel like the xenomorph is still as much of a monster like it was in the first movie. It's just, obviously... it's going to be more sci-fi, so it's not going to be as horror, right? But I still feel like the element was there, but that's besides the point. So Ridley Scott is so buttered about that. That's why he had to make all these origin movies, and that's what because he wanted to try, almost erase what the later Alien films did. It's only my story's accurate, and it just shows, Ridley's just... The whole black goo stuff with Prometheus, that's the one element I didn't really like. I didn't even like it at the time. I was like, what is this black goo shit? Why do we keep doing that? To where they even had it in fucking Alien Romulus. They mentioned... they mentioned the fucking goo. Never mind. And I feel like the black goo, obviously, and Ridley Scott had a lot of say with Romulus. That's part of the reason probably why it was back. 'Cause Because he clearly tried to wedge it between Prometheus. That's why why you remember that hybrid in the end of the movie? I think that was probably his idea. So you could tie it in, because there was the black goo from Prometheus that's mentioned, and it's just like really Scott just has this like foothold on Alien that he just would not let go. To where we're still getting Alien movies. I personally think just kind of leave Alien alone, man. Let it be people. A lot of people's eyes, it's just the first two. I'll include the third one, and I like look at it as a trilogy because the way it ended, I really think it could work as a trilogy. But I also do believe you didn't necessarily need more movies though at the same time, and and then Covenant, just the stuff with David, the weird, like, trying to make an origin story of the alien that really wasn't needed, for being honest. We didn't really need it. Like, it's just, Ridley Scott right now. I mean, the stuff with Napoleon, the fact that he got pissy at people, and normally, yeah, to an extent, I don't necessarily fully disagree. Like, most of the time, these historical people, I do think movies should be historically accurate, but I also acknowledge that it's Hollywood, so obviously there's gonna be certain elements. There's always gonna be Hollywood fluff. Like, I mean, look at biopics. There's always gonna be Hollywood fluff they gotta add to make the movie interesting. At the end of the day, it's still a movie, right? But the stuff with Napoleon, I'll admit I haven't seen the movie, but the way he responded to the people was like a child, man. I don't know if he was like, go fuck yourself. It was something like that. And I'm just like, hold on. Just looking for something. Shit. Get that later. But anyway, I really just feel like Ridley he huffs his own farts now, man. He's gotten like, I don't know if he got that pretentious bug, or I don't know what to call it, but like it's something like that where he just feels like he's just pretentious now. Like, he feels like he has to huff his own farts and he has to outdo himself. And I think that's where he's at now. I think he just wants to outdo himself. He feels like he has to go bigger. I haven't seen that last Duel movie, so I can't really speak on it. It looked like it had a good cast. I think it was like Adam Driver. Was it Ben Affleck was in it? It was like a lot of names. But Blade Runner, like 2049, I like it, but I do think it wasn't necessarily needed. You didn't need it. I don't like the idea of answering the question about the androids. I don't like that. Or the synthetics, sorry, the synths. I don't really like the answering the question on that. Should have just left it alone. Because when you just answer questions, sometimes you just overcomplicate it. And sometimes that mystery is what works. And answering it, like, I don't know. This is just frustrating because, and then I haven't even got into the stuff he's done with Gladiator. The fact that he said there will certainly be a Gladiator 3. Like, why? Who the fuck asked for Gladiator 2? So now we're gonna do a trilogy. This is straight up, like I said yesterday, this is like Taken 2 and 3 energy, where we're just randomly making this a trilogy, franchise a trilogy, when it really doesn't need to be a fucking trilogy. I don't understand why. Like, this is what I mean. Why can't Ridley Scott just leave well enough alone? It just feels like he's just doing it because he wants to have his name back in Hollywood again. And the thing is, he can do that. But why not just make new stories? At this point, Ridley, make new stories. Stop taking your IPs and just fucking butchering them. That's all he's fucking doing now. What he did with Alien. You know, I like Prometheus, but kind of Prometheus gets undone by shitty Covenant. And then now he's apparently going to do another Alien movie. And I know he didn't direct it, but he has ties with Alien Romulus too. And then he's going to now do another one. It's like, Ridley, stop it. Stop fucking raping Alien. Just stop it. Leave Alien alone, man. It's like, it's like a couple franchises that just feels like every now and then has to go on go on the pole to be sacrificed. Like it's a revolving door. You know, Alien, Predator, fucking, I'll say it, Jurassic Park, fucking, it's like, but Alien and Predator, Terminator, those are like the three that just every now and then we gotta just come out and just fucking kill it again. It's just like every time you gotta come out and sacrifice again in a just circle. Those are like the three that I think are like we gotta just pull out just to fucking ruin it again. And Ridley Scott is not helping with the Alien situation. Like, Ridley, leave Alien alone, man. A lot of people don't really want any more Alien movies. Maybe games and other fucking, mainly games. And I'm okay with an idea of an Alien series pending on how it's executed. So I'm not gonna fully write off this Alien Earth story as long as he has no ties to it. But everything else, honestly, why are we doing a Gladiator 3? What the fuck is the story going to be? Lucius as the Emperor? Because that's what I want to see. No. You should have stopped at the first one. It's just like Ridley. And the hot take, this is the truth of the matter, guys. This isn't like Ridley just got the idea to do a sequel later. No. He's always wanted to do a Gladiator sequel. Apparently, he's even had the idea since 2001. Apparently, that was when they asked about it. And that was a year after the first movie. So they've always apparently, I don't know, it could be both. It could be like the studio wanted it, but it also could be he wants it. I don't know why. I feel like as a director, you should know your own stories doesn't need more. Tim Burton just came out and recently said he doesn't feel like there needs to be a Nightmare Before Christmas too. I kind of wish he did that with Beetlejuice also, but it is what it is. But a good director knows when, even if it's like an iconic work he's made, if he knows, like, you know what, I don't want to make more, they know not to make more. And that's what a good director should acknowledge. Whereas, like, I told that story, I don't need to do more. I don't have an idea for it. Like, I respect when they're just honest. Like, there's no reason. It's a one-off story. I never planned for a sequel, and it's not like I have an idea for a sequel. So Ridley Scott just feels like he has to. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just he feels like it's the only way these studios will hire him, and I don't know if it's because The Last Duel, if you remember, that was like a somewhat original story, but it bombed. It bombed. I remember it bombing. I remember, like, because I think it came out like the same day as like some big, I think it was the year Joker came out. It might have been. Hold on. I have his filmography open. 2021, so no, that wasn't when Joker came out. But I think it did come out like when a big movie came out. And I think that's why it bombed, if I remember. Because I remember it came out like around the same time as like a big movie. And it just, and plus, obviously, like, I think this was like still kind of like during the lockdown and shit. So, but I wonder if it's because of that. And I think he did that House of Gucci movie too, which I didn't see, but it's like, maybe he feels like, because his quote-unquote, when he tries original stuff, it just doesn't do well. I don't know if he feels like because of that, he feels like he has to go back in the well of Alien, now Gladiator. And I have a feeling he's going to probably do fucking some other Blade Runner again. I like 2049, but I feel like if he tries a third one, it's going to probably be shit. And then look what he did with Gladiator 2, which was essentially, it was a Gladiator reboot. It was a reboot. It wasn't a sequel. Or it reset. We're back to having emperors again. The people are oppressed, even though the way the fucking first one ended, the people are free and it's no longer under rule. But now we're back to the status quo because we got to Force Awakens this bitch. Ridley Scott, man, just stop, bro. We don't need a Gladiator 3. What would even... And you know what the fucking shitty thing is? He would... I feel like this time around, he would try to get Russell Crowe back. Even in some fucking way, shape, or fashion, he would try to get Russell Crowe in there. Even as, like, a flashback, or they'll do some shitty, like... I can even see them doing a situation, they do a deep fake. Kind of like what they did with Ash and Romulus, where they try to get Russell Crowe so he can do the mocap, and then they can do the whole deep fake and they can de-age him to make him look like Maximus from the first movie. Probably have a scene where he has a scene with his son, maybe in like a dream sequence. But they're gonna do that just so they can have Russell Crowe in the movie. I can see it happening. Why? Ridley, like now, Gladiator is a fucking forced franchise now that it was never supposed to be a franchise. It was just one movie, but now we have a second one out of nowhere. Now it's fucking about to be 3. So it's a fucking forced trilogy. I'm gonna keep saying it. This is basically Taken 2 and 3 again, when Taken didn't really need a sequel, so we had to force 2 sequels. Yeah, it's so sad, man. Ridley Scott, I don't know if it's just he's not happy that his original stuff just doesn't do well, so he feels like he just has to go back and into the well of Alien, Gladiator. There's probably gonna be another Blade Runner. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably Harrison Ford wouldn't be in it, but they might do like a Blade Runner, but like in the future, and he might try to make it his own thing. But yeah, But the fact that the other problem I had with Blade Runner 2049, I like the movie. Answering the question though, was Deckard a fucking synth, was fucking terrible. I hated that. I didn't really like the idea of basically answering the question, is he a synthetic? I've never really liked that. I've always loved leaving it up to in the air, and now you just answered it. Like, that's the thing. Ridley Scott, I guess, feels like he has to answer all the questions he's set up, but sometimes the question doesn't need to be answered. Oh, man, it's just so sad how far he's fallen. And don't be wrong, I'm not saying James Cameron's perfect either, because I think James Cameron's fallen off too. Honestly, I think he's fallen off really since Titanic. He hasn't done a good movie since Hot Take. His last good movie was fucking True Lies. So, and it seems like Cameron wants to just fucking be stuck in his Avatar world. But I can at least give it to Cameron. He's doing his own thing. He's not going back into the well. Granted, they're trying to force him to do another Terminator, but aside from that, he doesn't go out of his way to go into the well of ruining his franchises like Ridley Scott does, who's just, I'm gonna keep saying it, man, lay off the crack or smoke some cocaine. You give me good ideas, because what you're doing right now, Ridley, what you did with Napoleon, I didn't see the movie, but the fact that you just ignore people's criticism about the historical accuracy. Speaking of which, the fact that you had a newspaper in Gladiator 2, why? There were no newspapers in the Roman Empire at that time. The printing press didn't even exist yet. So, it's what I mean. Like, just the not giving a fuck anymore. Just because you just gotta huff your own farts. It's wild to me, man, how far he's just fallen off. So, I don't want to keep rambling, but I just wanted to get this off my chest. Because I feel like it's just the fact that now, especially since he wants to now do a Gladiator 3 for some reason, even though there was no need for a sequel. There was no need for a second one, now we're doing a third one. Just retire, Ridley, please. Just retire. Go into the sunset, man. Rest on your laurels of Alien, Gladiator, and Blade Runner. Just rest on those laurels. You don't need to come back. Or if you're gonna keep doing movies, just do original stories. But I guess, I'm gonna keep saying, I guess he just didn't like that his original stuff just was bombing. So maybe he just felt like I have to keep going and just doing just keep going back to the Alien and Gladiator well, because that makes money, or in theory should make money, which sucks, because at least if he just focused on these original stories, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with him making movies. But stop touching your fucking legacy IPs. Let those just be done. Let Alien just rest, for fuck's sake. It has been fucking beaten enough. Same with Gladiator. The shit should have never gone to this phase where it's borderline a franchise now, when it never should have been. It was just one fucking movie. Anyway, I just kind of want to call it there. I'm going to wrap it up there. Tomorrow, I'll be talking about The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. I'm just going to do both parts. Ah, man, I cannot wait to watch those. Those animated movies were fucking great. Especially the fight between Batman and Superman. I love Dark Knight Returns as a comic, and the way they were able to like make that comic, they brought it to life. And I'm not gonna lie, like this movie is probably like both parts. I kind of, to me, Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2 are just one movie to me. So I consider that probably my favorite DC animated movie after the Flashpoint one. Like the way they really nail, even the way they animated it, they really made it look like the comic. They got the grittiness to it. Um, that obviously the fight in the end with Superman is iconic, and they really nailed that fight like they got from the comic. And I love that they made Superman look like from the comic. Like they really did a good job with fucking Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. So definitely recommend those. So I can't wait to watch that. So Pin Down Podcast, link will be in the description. Ridley Scott, please man, just retire. Or just focus on original stuff. Stop touching your legacy shit. Please. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow. Alright, y'all. Talk to y'all tomorrow. For Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. Peace.